I want you to think like these people. Henry Ford. Henry Ford said something very interesting. He said, if you think you can, and you probably can finish it off, if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. He knew about what I'm teaching you today. That was a long, long time ago. Very clever guy. Every champion, every super successful person I've ever met thinks like the way I'm going to show you today. Has any of you ever read or heard of a book called The Secret? Hands up, let's see you. Right. Those that haven't, please go and get it. I'm not here to advertise The Secret, but it talks about a thing called the law of attraction. What it tells you is that what you think about suddenly materializes in your life. Some of you that read it, a percentage of you have actually started doing that stuff. What I've been doing for a long time, for the last 15 years, is showing people not that that's true, but how to get there. The tools you need to get there. That's really important. Because if you have the tools, you can go and do it, right? Make sense? Here's one of the things I'm going to prove to you right now is something that you all know, and it's going to prove what I've been saying about what you think is what you get. How many of you have a car? Silly question. You got here in a car, right? Have you noticed this? And I can have a show of hands because I know what's going to happen. How many of you noticed, since you got the car, you keep seeing it everywhere? Come on, put your hands up. Every single person in this room is going to go, yes, I have. Now what happened? Here's this very special thing. When you buy a car or you get a car, here's what happens in your brain. It's a very special moment. You get in the car, you see it. You're happy, aren't you, normally? Unless the company gave you a really naff car, in which case it's different, but that didn't really happen here. But you get in the car, you see it. You might smell the leather. You look at it, you hear the sound of the engine, it's purring away. And all your senses get involved, don't they? Don't they? Of course they do. Well, that has an incredible thing because you keep doing it every day. You're drumming it into your brain. And you're not just drumming it into any part of the brain, you're actually drumming it into the right-hand side. And we'll talk about the right and left in a minute. But what happens is because you keep doing that, the brain now keeps focusing on those things. And that thing is the car. Now those cars you keep seeing, by the way, they were already there, weren't they? Did they just appear by magic? Did God just bring them down and put them on the road? No, they were there before, weren't they? Would you agree? Would you accept that? But how come you couldn't see them before? It's because what your brain's doing. Now imagine this. Think of any dream and aspiration that you might have for your life, right now. Think about it. There's a list of little things and questionnaire that I left on your desks here, and not all of you have got them, but I'm going to provoke some thought because a lot of those things that are on that list, I hope you will take them away with you, are all possible. Everything's possible. But let's say I could say this to you, that every single thing you've ever wanted, everything you want in your life, all the dreams, all the things you put to one side, are absolutely possible. If you could put those things into your brain in exactly the same way as you put your car, guess what's going to happen? And that's a rhetorical question. Here's what's going to happen. Everything connected to the dream, the aspiration, what you want in your life is going to start appearing in front of you. The people, the situations, the circumstances, everything connected to that dream is going to appear. Now you have to do something about it when it comes. Otherwise it was a bit of a waste of time, wasn't it? But does that all make sense? Just like your car. If you start dreaming big, and this is what super successful people do, they dream huge, immense things, and they behave as though it's already happened. Here's one guy you might have heard of, Muhammad Ali. You remember him? You know, he said when he was 15, I am the greatest. Somebody got hold of him and told him about what I'm telling you. And they say, look, I know you're 15, I know you've not nobody out yet, but we think you've got a talent. What you need to say is, I am the greatest. Not one day I will be, but I am. You know what that does to the brain? It kick-starts things. If you keep saying it, guess what starts to happen? Your body starts to do things. So this is what I urge you to do. Because every thought that you're going to have, you know that little voice that comes in and gives you thoughts? You know the one you don't want? When you're about to do something, a little doubt comes in. Well, let me tell you, G-I-G-O, garbage in, garbage out. If you keep thinking what you don't want, guess what's coming? Just like the car, you keep seeing it everywhere, and that's what's going to be your reaction, and that's going to be a realization of the reality. What I want you to do today, and please, this is a workshop, I want you to take something away from here that's useful. I can't do a 5-hour course in 15 minutes, not possible, but I can give you a couple of messages. Every thought is processed. So, from this day forth, stop thinking about the things you don't want in your life. And only think about what you do want. That's a pretty simple concept, isn't it? Do all of you think that's possible to do? Well, let me tell you, that's how super successful people do it. They only always think about what they want. They never think about what they don't want. Sometimes they do think about what they don't want, and guess what? Disasters come in very quickly. I shared something with somebody a couple of days ago, and actually this afternoon with this gentleman here. I had a thought a long time ago about what would happen if I got really wealthy or something went really well. And one of the thoughts that popped in was these athletes, they get all this money, and then they go and invest it in the wrong place, and they blow it all. And I didn't deal with the thought. I'm barely standing up right now because 2-3 weeks ago that happened to me. But here's what happens. I'm bringing myself back and I'm going to make it again. Because that's what's in my head. That's what I see. That's my dream. That's where I'm going. So please take heed of this message. Would you believe a word can change everything? A word, one word. Now, who in this room works out? Who's big and strong and works out? Let's find the biggest guy in the room, and I know who it's going to be. It's my friend down here. Come on. Come on. You watch this. Now, come stand here, my friend. Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you.
You work out, right?
A little bit.
A little bit. I had a feeling this is going to happen, but there you go. Are you right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed.
Okay, what we do is put your hand up like that, make a fist, and I'm going to see how strong you are, because he looks quite big and strong, this guy. Just turn around this way a little bit so everybody can see. Okay. And I'm going to come round here. I'm going to push down, you stop me. You ready? Mm-hmm. Let's see how strong you are. Oh my word, I knew this was going to happen. Put your hand down. Okay, now what you need to do is relax. What sport did you play?
Football.
I had feelings. You're a linebacker or something. Right, okay. But can you go back in time just 1 minute? I want you to just relax and find the day that you played so badly, you were terrible. You were dreadful. The team lost, you were dreadful, it was your fault. Can you remember a time? Go back a long way. Can you remember it? I want you to just relax and think about that. Put your arm up, please. Make a fist. And think the word lose. You ready? Lose, lose, lose. Should we do it again? Come on, put your finger up. Think of that thing, lose, 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 lose. With one finger I can bring his arm down. Where's your strength gone, my friend? It's gone.
It's in thought.
It's gone. Now I could sit you down, but would you like your strength back?
Yep.
I guess you would. I thought you might.
Yep.
Okay, can you go back in your mind, just relax, and just think about when you won, when you were brilliant, you were fantastic, you were the best player on the pitch. Can you remember when you won the trophy? Can you remember?
I can remember.
Easy, isn't it? Right?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so put your arm up. Put your arm up. Think win. Think win. You ready? Win, 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 win. Win, I can't budget. Win, 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 win. Thanks. Put your arm down. Give him a round of applause. Now, you might wonder what that's about. It's to do with the fact that what your brain does, it hears what it gets and it gives you what it hears. So athletes or people in business, if you go into a sales situation, if you go into anything in your life and you have doubt, your brain's going to go back in there, it's going to find out what it is, and it's going to give you exactly what you thought about. I train a lot of salespeople. Guess what happens to them if they go in doubting? Do you think the sale happens? No. If they go in thinking about themselves rather than the customer, guess what happens? Customer picks it up. There's something going on out there, and I tell you, I don't understand it, and maybe science one day will actually explain it. But we're giving out something. How many in this room have ever picked up the phone and known who it was before you answered it? Or you were thinking about somebody and they called you? Come on, let's see a show of hands. How many has that? Almost everybody in this room. Now that isn't coincidence, is it? Because everywhere I go, this is what I see. Everybody tells me the same thing, so something's going on. I can't explain it. I'm not weird, by the way. I am from England, but I'm not weird. All I'm saying is that something's going on, partly to do with your brain. Here's a quick study that Yale University did, and I'm going to share this with you now. Yale, you've all heard of Yale. What Yale did many, many years ago, they wanted to do a research program on all the students who were leaving the university at that time. They gave them this huge document to give them life experience of what they felt like when they'd been at Yale, all the things. They want to know how good Yale was. One of the questions on that survey was, do you have goals? Now you'd have thought everybody would have goals. Just had 4 or 5 years in university, everything's great. 10% of all the people that were about to leave that university had goals. Only 10%. That's staggering. Guess what it's like today? Just the same today. No different. Here's the next question. If you've got goals, have you written them down? 4% had written the goals down. All these people, only 4%. So anyway, they kept doing this, they all left the university. 20 years later, they decided to not do a new survey with all the students leaving, they decided to go back and find the old ones and see what happened to them. Here's what's interesting. They found most of them, the 4%. The 4%, no additions, no subtractions, no additions, no subtractions. That 4% had succeeded in life beyond anybody's wildest dreams. They were so successful, not just in money terms, because they were worth, by the way, more than the other 96% put together. Fascinating that, isn't it? But they succeeded in everything. Is it just as simple as writing down some goals? Well, some people would say no. I say yes, because what you're doing is committing things to your brain as though it's already happened, and every successful person I've ever met does this. They don't just write down the goals, they really go for it, they see it, they vision it. Some of you in this room are very successful, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. We are the dreamers of dreams. Willy Wonka. I like some great films like this. Let me tell you, whoever wrote that book knew exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't have dreams, if you don't see those dreams and create those dreams, nothing is going to happen. That's it. To do the things you want to do, you have to break from comfort zones. We all know what comfort zones are, aren't we? Where we are comfortable. Let me explain something about comfort zones. Most of us live in this comfort zone. We all live in this comfort zone. The super successful people's comfort zone's up here. The rest of us is somewhere else. Now, the bottom of your comfort zone, what that is when things get really, really bad, it drops below where you find acceptable. What does your brain do? Because it's got all this information about what you find comfortable. It says, I'm not happy here, I'm going to do something. I'm going to get back in my comfort zone. So if your job's not doing too well, you lost your job, you find a way, don't you? Don't you? To get back into it. Get a comfort zone, get a new job. And you're back into it and you're feeling comfortable again, and that's great. But maybe you don't know about this one. There's a ceiling on your comfort zone. Did you hear about this? Maybe you don't know about this. Take the Washington Redskins. Here's a good example. If they do start winning well in a game, guess what happens? Just like in the Super Bowl that you watched a few weeks ago. They did too well, and their brain says, what the heck are you doing out here? This is way too good, and we're going to sabotage you and bring you back in. Huh. The Washington Redskins, by the way, is my fault. I take 100%, I'm not kidding. About 4 years ago, I decided I was going to work with the Washington Redskins. I called them up. I asked to speak to the owner. I had it in my mind he was going to come and talk to me. Guess who came on the phone? The owner of the Redskins. And he had a chat with me. I blew it. Oh. My fault. So all of you that support the Redskins, maybe one or two, don't blame the team, it's my fault. Because if I got in there, and they're only around the corner, I've been to their training ground, I've sent letters to him, I've done everything I can think of to get them to bloody listen to me. Because let me tell you what they have. They have a mindset that is a losing mindset. Not just the players, not just the staff, but every single person that supports that club knows that next season when it starts, they're going to do exactly the same thing, aren't they? We know what they're going to do. We have to change that. But to do that, we have to get them out of their comfort zones. I'll tell you about the brain. That's the brain, roughly what it looks like. Now, you probably have heard about this, most people do. Left-hand side, very analytical, yes? That's what we use most of the time. What I got you to do just before you came in here, I had some music playing. Did you hear that, some of you? That was to get you to start getting into the right-hand brain. I was giving you positive messages. I was giving you nice, relaxing thoughts. Don't go back again. I was doing all sorts of things. You didn't even know it was going on. But I started to get you there. I just proved to him what happens when you go to the wrong side and see what happens. I want you to do this. All close your eyes. All of you, just close your eyes. Close your eyes. And look left. Keep your head still, look left. Keep your head still, look left. And put saliva in your mouth. Put saliva, fill your mouth up with saliva. Don't spit it out, that's nasty. Just put saliva in your mouth. Now next time you have a situation, open your eyes. Next time you have a situation at work and you want to get the answer to the question that you've got that you're pondering and you're racking your brain to get it because it's not coming, close your eyes, look left, put saliva in your mouth. And you're going to say, Howard's nuts. No, he's not. When you put saliva in your mouth, it tells your brain you're relaxed. Here's why. What do the speakers, you saw one or two of them doing this earlier. I don't do this because I don't need to, because I know how to do the tricks. They have a bottle of water in case what? Their mouth's dry. Because when your mouth's dry, it tells your brain, I'm tense. If you put saliva in your mouth, guess what it tells your brain? I'm relaxed. Because that's what happens, isn't it? So when you look left, if you know about this, when you look left, you activate right brain. Did you know that, any of you?
If you literally looked left instead of moving your eyeballs left?
You just look left. Don't move your head. You just look left. When you trigger left, you want to trigger right brain, look left.
Oh.
Close your eyes, because that's a nice relaxed state. Look left, put saliva in your mouth. It'll let you open into right brain. We'll have some questions at the end. I do want to hear them, please. Yeah, please, go on. Sure.
As a teacher, I notice in math, when children, you ask them a question about a word problem, you ask them, their eyes.
They look up left.
Look up left.
They do. Slightly different, but yeah. And in sales situations that I work with, I tell people to make sure when you're presenting to somebody, make sure they're sitting on your right-hand side. Because they teach them all wrong in sales. They tell them, see them over here, so if you're writing right-handed, they can see what you're doing. If you look right, you activate left brain. You don't want left brain, do you? That's analytical. We want passion. We want things that will help me buy something because it's great for me. I need to be looking left and using what? My imagination, because right brain's imagination. Right brain's where all the answers come. Now I'm going to ask you again, hands up. How many times you've been at work, you're racking your brains, and you're looking for the answers and it won't come, and then you're driving home or you're in the shower and the answer comes? Come on, I'll show of hands. Everybody! Because you know what you did? You did this. You took the wall down. Because in between left and right, there's this wall. It's hydrogen bomb proof. You can't get through it. And unless you take the wall down, you ain't going there. Let me tell you, not a chance, impossible. That's what the wall like. And why am I hitting my head against a brick wall? You've heard that phrase. And that sticks as well, by the way. Because we don't want you to do this. We want you to put saliva in your mouth, look left, and relax. Because the key to getting into right brain is that. And what I teach people to do, like this, is to how to relax. Because your mum and dad didn't sit you on her knee or his knee and say, darling, this is how you relax. This is how you do what Howard's telling you. They never taught you that stuff at school, did they? Your mum didn't tell you how to do this. Nobody told you. I'm telling you. Because it's true. It's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. If you relax, you get in there, and that's how the world's problems are going to get solved. I had a conversation with somebody else earlier on about going to schools, which is one of my ambitions, universities and places like that, to teach the students how to do this stuff, because they're the future, aren't they? Not us lot. We might have something to do with it, but guess who's really going to make the future? They are. This stuff I'm showing you always works. One of the reasons I know it works is this. Do any of you have an animal at home? Come on, hands up. Who's got an animal, a pet? Your pet can't speak to you, obviously, unless you're Dr. Dolittle. But anyway, let me ask you a question. Do you think an animal can think what it doesn't want? What does an animal do? It only thinks what it wants. Right? We're so damn clever. We're human beings. Why do we keep thinking what we don't want? Let's behave like animals. Our friend earlier talked about us going back to paleontology and all that. He's right. Animals only think what they want. We're animals. Let's do it. Because it always works. But let me tell you, it only works if you use it. If you do the things I'm showing you. I wish I could show you everything. I ain't got the time. Maybe another day we'll meet. But I'm going to show you this. This is my life. Not all of it, but some of it. And we've got enough to pick one thing. I'm going to show you. That was the book, by the way, that he was talking about. I have survived, actually 33 times now, near-death experiences. People say, well, what are you, like a lunatic? No. I've put myself in some fairly interesting situations over my last 57 years. I'm 57, by the way. But I was told as a kid very early on, two things. My mother called me Hardway Howard, and guess what my life's been like? I don't know the easy way. I've never heard of it. I don't understand it. I'm managing to get around it a little bit. It's taken me a while. But the other thing she said is, you're a survivor. And everybody I've ever met has said you're a survivor. And then I've counted up how many times I nearly died. Day one, I nearly died. But for one nurse. I'm not going to bore you with the book. You can go on Amazon Kindle. It's been published. Go buy the book. 700 pages. It took me a long time to write it. But let me tell you what happened as I was writing it. As I relived these things, guess what I started feeling? All the things that happened. Once I nearly broke my neck. Every time I read that section in the book, I get pain coming down here. I'm not kidding you. It's amazing. When the book got burnt in the computer, I had to start again. It took me 18 months before I could even think about writing the damn thing again. Because I didn't want to go through it all again, but I had to. I'm going to share this one just quickly at the end. Now, you already know that's a lunatic diving off a cliff. What you don't know, if you can't really see it, is there's rocks coming out here, and if he doesn't hit this point here, he's going to die. I'm going to tell you the story really, really quickly. So he goes on a holiday with his friends to Spain, to a place called Mallorca. And it's the usual, 21-year-olds, there's seven of them living in a one-bedroom apartment. And they're all hiding so the guy at the front desk doesn't see how many people are in the apartment. You know the kind of thing. Some of you have done it. But he had a dream early on in his career. He watched the Acapulco cliff dive. And he thought, this is good. Now, he knew how to dive. He knew how to dive. But he'd never done it. Anyway, he's walking across the beach and he sees this cliff. And he's got his swimming trunks up. And he goes up here where that is there. And he stands there and he's looking at it. And as he's looking at it, he's thinking, oh my God, that's stupid. Doesn't look like it's very deep. I better go down and have a look. So he goes into the water. He goes down under the water. He puts his hands up like that. And the water's about there. So we're talking 8 feet, maybe. 7 or 8 feet max. When you get to here, it gets a bit deeper. So he comes out, he thinks, this is lunatic, but I'll go back up and have another quick look. So he goes back up and has another quick look at there, and as he's standing there, in the corner of his eyes, he starts seeing a group of people start accumulate on the beach. And guess what they're doing? They're looking up at him. What do you think he's going to do? He's going to dive, isn't he? And they want to see it. Either kill himself or whatever. I don't know. They're probably thinking that, because that's what people do. That's why the news, by the way, never watch the news, don't read the newspapers, it's terrible. Don't do it. Anyway, so they're all standing there watching, he sees them, and he's thinking, now what shall I do? Shall I either back off and look stupid? He doesn't even know them. How idiotic is that? Or shall I dive? Anyway, the group gets bigger and bigger till there's about 25, 30 people standing there. And he's nervous and he's shaking. Anyway, so suddenly he does this, and it's all over. He dives. He goes